while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire.
Hey guys, it's Gita. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. So I'm going to be filming a tutorial today using the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, which I just want to tell you guys right off the bat, if you have been on the fence about ordering this palette, just get it. It's gorgeous, mostly matte, a couple gorgeous shimmers. They blend beautifully, they're pigmented, they're soft. I have never been that impressed by that many of Anastasia's palettes. Not that they've been bad, they've never like been amazing or really like, for me, like, wow, I'm so happy I bought this. But I feel like this is better than any of her previous release palettes, or at least the ones I've tried, which I had the Amrezy, the Tamana, and the Self-Made palette. I feel like this is the best one of the bunch. So if you do live near an Ulta or a Sephora, you can go swatch it in person, get the idea for yourself whether you want it. But if you own it and you'd like to see a tutorial on me doing this little kind of halo eye using this palette, then keep on watching. So I am going to attempt this as a talk through, and I usually do voiceovers for tutorials. I'm going to start off with my it's a Hakuhodo blending brush. I think it's the J552, but I actually don't know. All of the script has rubbed off at this point. They're very well loved. So I'm going to actually start with the shade Tempera, which is this matte sort of lid shade here. So I'm going to take this one all over the lid. If you are as pale as me, then it works great as a base shade. If not, you could use the Golden Ochre shade, which is a bit darker and warmer, which is actually the shade that I'm going to take just a slight amount of now, and I'm going to blend into the crease on both sides. I do want to have a warm transition here, but I'm not looking to add anything too heavy just yet. So the next thing that I'm going to do is take a little bit of burnt orange. You guys may have heard that these shadows have a little bit of like dust fallout. That honestly is going to happen with any really pigmented matte shades, even non-matte shades. So all you really have to do if it kicks up a bit of product is just a little bit of tap, and you can see it kind of dusts off there. So because I'm kind of doing a halo eye, I'm going to bring this to the inner corner and to the outer. This is not going to be perfect at the moment. I'm just trying to get a bit of product down. So to the inner, to the outer. Reason being is I'm going to be putting a lighter shade in the center of my lid, so I do want to build up the color around. And you can kind of sweep it out as well. Like, I don't mind if the shadow comes out. I'm not going to be doing like a wing or anything. I'm basically just softly blending this into the socket here. I'm going to go ahead and take Relgar, which is this really sort of deeper orange shade in the corner here. And I'm going to be using a Bdellium 777 brush. Basically just taking not too much, tapping off a bit. So this I'm going to use to intensify the inner corner where I placed the burnt orange, as well as the outer corner. I'm not worried like too much about it being perfectly blended, but I am just going to apply it and then pat the color down with the side of the brush. I do want a bit of this on the lower lash line. I don't want to make it super intense just yet, so I'm going to take a little more of the burnt orange, which was that first color I used, on a Bdellium 772, which is like a much kind of smaller looking brush here. And I'm just going to sweep a little of that onto the lower lash line. And then a little bit of that Relgar, I really don't know how to say it and it's really gonna annoy me, to the outer corner. And then I am also going to take the 777 brush and just sweep that under here to smooth the edges a bit as well. So the next color that I'm going to go in with is this Venetian red. And this is one of the shades that has, it's not matte completely, it's like a satin shade. I am going to use the same 772 brush, and just like I was doing with the other shades, tapping a bit down. Really the process is just building up color gradually. Certain colors, if you pack too much color on at once and then you just go and try to like furiously blend out like what you've already placed. So I really do find that it helps to just really slowly build up the color intensity. That gives you a lot more control over it. Using the same brush, I am going to take just a tiny bit to the outer corner here on the lower lash line. I am going to take some more of that Venetian red to the inner corner. So I'm going to take just a little bit and just pat it down there. This is the 777 brush, just blending the edges out. Now I'm going to take the Antique Bronze, which also has just a little bit of like a micro shimmer. It's more of a satiny, you know, it's not glittery or anything like that. So I am going to do just what I've been doing, but I'm going to keep it a little closer to the lash line this time. I'm not going to bring the color up too high. Really bringing that here. I'm going to do, again, a little bit on the lower lashes of that Antique Bronze color, inner and outer corner. So we really have a lot of the color laid down. I'm going to go back in with the Hakuhodo brush and sweep kind of the upper here. Just very gently. I'm not trying to like move everything around, just kind of softening all of the edges. I am going to go ahead and take a little of this really gorgeous, more cool toned matte berry shade called Love Letter, which is this one here, and I'm going to bring that into the lower lash line, the outer corner here. Okay, I lied. I'm going to put a little of this on the lid as well. In case you guys haven't noticed, I like to improvise. I'm really not the best at like planning things out. So again, I'm taking the shade Love Letter. I'm like the worst at tutorials. Like here I am telling you what to do, but I'm also like, you don't really have to do this. This might be unnecessary. I have all these extra steps. So I'm going to take the 777 brush again and slightly buff this in the crease here, which is what I got. Just making that look really soft. This is the 780 by Bdellium tools, and it has sort of a really small point to it. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Primavera, which is this. It's a shimmery golden, a kind of yellow golden shade, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that pretty heavily to the center of my lid. I want to tap this down the center of my lid. So I'm honestly just packing an intense amount of this shimmery golden shade all the way up, starting on the lid and going all the way up. I really want this to like intensely pop off the eye, which obviously is part of the reason why you need to leave the skin blank, because that way the color that you do place can really pop off the skin. If your skin's a bit darker, one of the things you can do is lay a white base down in the center, and that'll really help the lighter colors to pop off the skin as well. So then I'm going to be taking a bit to the lower lash line also. Again, keeping this to the center. And I'm just carefully sweeping the brush back and forth. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Hakuhodo brush again, just to blend the kind of upper portion here. But you don't want to overblend on the lid because that'll obviously take away from the fact that you just spent all that time carving out a space for shadow and placing it there. I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Vermeer, which is directly above Primavera, and it is a very light shimmery shade as well, but it's much more white. It's extremely light, and it's quite shimmery. So what I'm gonna do with this is take this to kind of the edges of where I placed the original shadow and just kind of softly buff out. With the 777 brush, I'm gonna just very, very softly blend the lid. I do want these colors to blend, but I don't want to lose all definition. So I just made a snap decision about this too. I want to take a little of the Primavera color the golden color, and I want to wet my brush and apply it with a slightly damp brush. I'm going to use just a little of my Mario Badescu rose water spray. I don't want it like crazy sticky, so I'm just going to spray a little of that on the back of my hand, which is covered in. Been wiping my brush on it. So I'm dipping my brush in the Primavera first, then I'm going to go into this so it's a bit wet, and just go right here. And I'm going to go ahead and pop my lashes on, and I'll be right back. Alright, I put some lashes on. That's what they look like. These are the House of Lashes Siren lashes. Some of my favorite lashes. I like how kind of piecey they are. They kind of work with this type of look because you can still see the little spotlight there. After having put my lashes on, I decided I want a little more color on my lower lash line, so I'm going to take the Love Letter shade again, a really berry shade with the 772. And real quick buff it out with this brush. I got some fallout on my cheeks, and my super big secret for removing fallout, it's like not a secret at all, is I take my big old powder brush from Real Techniques and just do a little sweeperoonie. Brush away the fallout. This is the Great Lash Waterproof, and the only reason I use it is because it's the only waterproof mascara I own. It has a small wand, and I like waterproof for my lower lashes. I got mascara right there. Shit. Alright, so my extra special trick for removing mascara when you get mascara on other parts of your face, wait for it to dry. Okay, now it's dry. Take a clean spoolie. Basically, wait till it dries. And then you'll come flake it away using a spoolie. It's not like 100%, but it gets like 90% of it off. I'm gonna use Dose of Colors Bury Me, and then I'm gonna take some lip liner. I'm gonna use MAC Burgundy, sharpen it, because a sharp lip liner is a happy lip liner. So that is the completed look. Kind of sped through the lip, obviously, and I already had a full face of makeup on, like my highlighter and my blush and all that jazz. So I just wanted to show you guys the eyes. I wanted to show you the eye look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't like too convoluted. When I do talk throughs, it's like a little messy. Usually if I film it and then I do a voiceover, it's a little more put together, because when I do a voiceover, I can like practice what I'm gonna say, and I can say it like 4 times and re-record it and all that, but when I just talk, it's just gibberish. So Anyway, that was my look using the Modern Renaissance palette. If you guys want to see any additional looks using this palette, let me know. I can definitely do more. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!